I mean,
It worked.
yeah,
We worked. Like months.
oh my God. All right. Well, folks, we're here. We're back. I am your host, Tommy Fresh. Sorry that we've taken a couple weeks off. I had a rough week last week, and Gary had a rough week the week before, but we're back. I'm your host, Tommy Fresh. You are all my buds, and joined as always on the Budrush. Bellow. It is. Is Gary's voice low?
Well,
I can turn
turn
you
me
up.
up. I
Turn
know I'm
him up.
loud. Turn me up anyway.
I probably had to adjust that audio for a guest, but we're back. It is the Budrush Bellow. We got a great show for you all, and geez, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well, man. Doing real well. I am so excited for this weekend. I cannot wait to see all the buds down in Baltimore. I've been just living through Tall Timmy's YouTube shorts. You know, he's just posting, vibing. He's working out in the morning and then going to every armory in Maryland at night. And yeah, I'm pretty much done with school, graduating in 2 weeks. So I'm just like so happy to be done. Just get to focus on cards. Cap, I know we're gonna miss you so much. Family's so important. I'm so happy you get to see them coming over. But yeah, it does suck that the 2 days clashed for you.
Well, you know, I just want to say, Cap. Sorry, let me bring my face up. I hate family, so no, no. It's awesome. I hope you enjoy your time with them. I hope everybody's doing well. We got a great show for you all. I am also very excited for Baltimore. I am excited. I'll be headed there tomorrow, which is very exciting. I'm going to the banquet, which should be cool.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a little dip in the harbor, swimming, and
grab a crab with your bare hands.
Yeah, you can see this is something that people don't know about Baltimore. You could just crabs are just like they're scurrying around. They're like like in New York City, like you got rats like running around. It is crabs. So I've heard anyway, but we'll find out. But it's going to be a blast. We got a good show for you tonight. We're going to do Scabskin moment of the week, which I had some bad beats this week, I'll tell you that. And we are also going to crack some packs, hopefully, depending on how Gary rolls. I also have something special to open today.
I was not informed prior to the show. I'm very excited.
I'm pulling a fast one on you there, Gary.
Keep me on my toes.
We're going to talk a little bit about what we expect to see perform at Baltimore, and then we're going to list our top 5 players we want to win the Pro Tour. Hey, listen, you got to make our list, right? Our list is important, right?
Number one.
Gary has a list. I have a list, and we'll see how it goes. And there's a lot of crossover, in terms it's probably more of our collective top 10, but we're each doing our top 5. So it should be a lot of fun. But before we get to all that, I do want to shout out to the Patreon, which you can find in the link tree, which I believe is in the show notes below. That's where you can help keep the lights on, the mics hot. Any of the packs that we don't open tonight will be posted up there. We also share crab recipes. No, I'm kidding. There's a bunch of stuff on there. It really just helps, honestly. It's the content games is something else, And oh man, Cap, this he's listing some great names there.
Yeah, the list is hard to make.
The list is hard to make, And I want to give some smaller names some fair shots here. So but it should be awesome. But check out the Patreon, the Twitter, which I just crossed 900 followers, which is pretty cool. Obviously follow Gary too, but mostly just me. No, I'm kidding. But we might hit 1,000. For whatever reason, Greg, our producer, said that when I hit 1,000, that's when I'm going to do the Lovia cosplay, but that is not correct. It's when I hit 500 YouTube subscribers here. So if you're not subscribed, give us the old subscribe. And Fresh and Buds. we're climbing up there. I believe 88 or 89 gets posted. I think 89 gets posted tomorrow. That is going to be with my local bud, Jim Kinzolka, who is awesome. He's great. He's competing in the Pro Tour. He's a great player and also just like a really good hang and like great vibes. So it was great to have him
guy.
on. And and he's, you know, he doesn't give away too much, I'll say that, but he's definitely someone to look out for this weekend. You know, he's very much a believer of Katsu. So yeah, check out all that and check out the Buds Discord where you know, it's a real blast over there. You get you know, just a lot of personalities and we all kind of, you know, have a good time. But yeah, cool. Oh, cool. That's it, folks. I'll see you later. But you have anything to add there, Gary?
No, man. I think I just appreciate all the support. I'm very excited to see the Buds this weekend. I do have a special giveaway. I'm going to be giving away some stickers at the Pro Tour. I made these stickers. They have a very special message on them. They're all sparkly, and I have some to give away at the Pro Tour. Ooh. I'm only giving them to people who have a big heart for Viserai, though. You know, like people who, if, you know, would play Viserai and just don't want to really quit. You know, really want to stick with them. So they're very exclusive, and also I'll just give them to whoever I want.
Yeah.
So look out for these cool stickers. They're very sparkly. I'm gonna do some more in the future, but
awesome.
Yeah, that's really it. I think
Mike Popovich is in the chat too. What's up, Mike?
Oh, Mike!
Excited to see you this weekend. I hope. But those stickers are awesome, Gary. You know what else is? Well, you know what isn't awesome?
What?
Scabskin moment of the week. So
yeah,
Scabskin moment of the week, especially like since I personally have not had a lot of time to play Flesh and Blood. I've been very busy with work and just content in general. Let me actually move this thing closer. And with that, you know, I've been doing other things, and I've found that, you know, you can roll high and you can roll low in life in general. So Scabskin moment of the week is going to kind of transform into, it's going to have brute stuff, but it's also going to have moments in life that either things went really well, or really poorly. And this week, unfortunately, it was very poorly. So I was out at my place of work, employment, for an annual meeting, company-wide. I'm on the sales team. And I'm remote, right? So I'm out in my own territory. So I only get out there like once a month. But once a year, they do a big annual meeting. They close the brewery down for the whole day. We do kind of activities. It's great. It's awesome. I love it. It's a lot of fun. Unfortunately, we got put up. The sales team got put up in a hotel that was less than ideal. And I mentioned it in the Buds Discord, but here's what happened. So I show up, and I'll say it. I'll shout out. I'm not even shout out. It's like, this is my own little Yelp review. The Holiday Inn in Grantville, Pennsylvania.
Screw you, guy.
Right off I-81. So I show up at 4:40 in the afternoon. That's almost the evening at that point. On the Sunday, when I'm supposed to check in, and the room was not done being cleaned. I walked up, and they were still cleaning. I was like, that's my room. And they were like, we're not done. I said, okay, I'll wait in the hallway. I was not that. Like, it's like a little annoying, but like, whatever, right? I'm not going to make a big deal out of it, because maybe they're short-staffed or whatever. But that was like the first thing. I was like, okay, just got to wait a little bit with all my bags out in the hallway. Get into the room. It's got like the stench to it in the bathroom. It was like not great, and the beds were very uncomfortable, and the towels smelled like throw up, which was you know, not the best.
Why they clean it? Like
I don't know if like maybe I rushed them, but all my coworkers had similar problems. My one coworker said that the bottom of the tub in her room was completely black. And she's like, I'm just not showering until I get home. I'm not, going in there barefoot. I was like, I don't blame you. And, it was interesting to say the least. Now, we did not sleep well because, the beds were just atrocious. The pillows were atrocious. I woke up at like 4 a.m. and then 6 a.m. like both nights. And whenever I woke up at 6 a.m., I couldn't get back to sleep because like the sun was coming out, and once the sun's out, I'm done. I can't go back to sleep. I'm just not good at it. And that was just the worst. So on top of that, just like super tired and like doing a bunch at work too. So it was just like a low roll for sure. And Mike's got it, in chat. He's got it completely right. Hotel room with stench is a no-go. So I am very looking forward to my hotel room this weekend in Baltimore. I'm paying a lot more for it. So I would assume it's gonna be better. So hoping for a better situation there. So but that was my low roll. What's your take on that there, Gary? I know you dated someone from that area.
Well, no, sorry. Yeah, I have the pack opening version up because I didn't know if the transition was going to be smooth there. But
Sorry.
yeah, what I found is like I've been very lucky not to have too many bad hotel experiences. Just I'm just lucky like that. I guess I just high roll too much, roll too many sixes.
Mm-hmm.
But like. In those moments, I'm far from afraid to be a Karen, Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, what's going on, guys? Like, what's the deal,
Mm-hmm.
Did you have the opportunity, or you just kind of went with it because, just one night, got to deal with Grantville for one night?
So, the thought crossed my mind. My work was paying for the room, so
Right.
whatever, right? It's not
Yeah.
like my money's kind of getting
Yeah.
squandered here. And then also there's a bar attached to the no it says that there's a bar that's a decent account for my work attached to the hotel. So I'm like, you know what, I mean, I've slept in much worse situations, so I just kind of dealt with it. And Devin also in chat has a great point too. Brutes rise with the sun, because that's what we do. We don't have the mental capacity to go back to sleep. But it's all a good time. But we are going to crack some packs now, if you want to get to a nice little smooth transition. But
so, I was ready for whatever. I had an answer and I had it set up. But yeah, so if you're new this week, what we do, we roll a dice and we pretend that if it's Scabskin Leather's action points. If you roll 6, we open 3 packs. If we open 4 or 5, we open 2. And if we roll a 1, we save it all for the Patreon.
Yep.
Today, we're using the Razor's Edge playmat that I picked up from a bud online because I really wanted to get this playmat signed by Iswardi this weekend. And I'm not good enough at Blitz to win one, so that's how I am. But yeah, so we're going to roll a dice and see how many we get. Ooh, can you see that?
No.
Ooh,
all right. We don't need to crack. We don't have to crack the Plague Hive. So 2 packs.
No, 2 packs. All right, we're saving the Plague Hive.
2 packs. Oh, there we go. All right, we'll leave Riptide for Patreon. How's that sound?
Hell yeah.
Got 2 Azuris. It just feels better. All right, let's crack these packs. First one now. Also, shout out. I just got a notification 8 minutes ago. Shout out to CNob96 for subscribing.
Hey!
If you're out there listening, watching, we appreciate you.
One step closer to Tom losing his dignity.
Freewheeling Renegades blue. Big fan of this card.
You like the blue?
So I wasn't like in love with the blue, and then Daniel Rakowski said, I love the blue, and I said, okay, I believe you.
Yeah, that's what you do. You believe Dan.
Now, this is a blue I do really like. Come to fight. Blocks 3.
Yeah.
More like come to win. I don't know. Yellow Destructive Deliberation.
Ugh. I love the yellow. It's 4.
Yeah. So, C-Knob just popped in the chat. Yeah.
Yes.
welcome, bud. You are much appreciated.
We know you're listening.
Yellow Destructive Deliberation, certainly fine. I don't think I'm on it initially. Blue Ravenous Rabble, not crazy about it. Outside of Benji, of course.
True.
Be Like Water.
Do love Be Like Water.
And it's the yellow, which is
Call that. Yes. It's the glue that holds it all together.
Yeah.
You know?
It's we got more like Be Like maybe our first pick. we do have a red arrow here, Withering Shot. You know how we are. We like the red arrows.
We love some red arrows. We love some yellow arrows. Oh, but we do love a red prowl.
Red prowl is hot out the gates here. It's always the safest to kind of get into assassin, if anything, out of the first pick. Whoa, yeah. 2 red arrows. Now, if you took one, you're sending another one down the way, which is
wrong message.
That's maybe you send both of them and let them think, all right, this person's definitely not in Ranger, so you can kind of keep in what you want to do here with Assassin or Ninja. Back heel kick yellow, totally fine in Benji, but not what we want to do. Yellow plunge. I like plunge, but it's certainly not performed the way you really want it to.
I like hurl a lot more.
Yeah. Red Humble.
I like too.
These 2 for 6s are great.
Yeah, so good.
I mean, I think I'm on that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like, there's like some great choices here, but I think Red Humble is.
It's pretty flexible, right? Like anybody can play it. Mm-hmm. I mean, like if you play it in an Arachne deck, it's very unexpected, but still super powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, go again into that is quite good. It's good in Azuri, totally fine in all the ninjas. Like, because like the when you're playing against Benji, you're kind of expecting just the small stuff, right? And then you're like, oh no, just kidding. I'm gonna try to crush you with this.
Also, you hit Benji with it, and they can't do anything. You can just block them out.
That's the truth. That's the truth right there. Recoil. Blue, it's totally fine. Descending Gustwave blue is totally fine. Seeker's Hood, which I like, but
you put the red prowl on the side for me. I think I would take the red prowl here.
I wouldn't fault you for it.
Just because I think like Assassin is such an open hero that like taking any really good card early can give you an advantage. That's how I felt.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, that's Arachne, right? That's an Arachne card.
Yeah.
So you're really pivoting, or like not pivoting. You're planting your flag with Arachne. So let's open this next pack here. There was no Fabled in there. I don't know if anybody noticed, but
maybe in this one.
Yellow Come to Fight. Sure. Red Peace of Mind.
Pretty good.
These cards are good.
Yeah.
Another blue Freewheeling Renegades, which we already talked about. Brush Off. Yellow is certainly good against Benji.
Yep, and it's really good to pitch into a dagger.
Yeah, that's a great point. Blue Malign, not the most exciting of the blue stealth cards.
Yeah, we want to see blue infect.
Spire Sniping, I mean, very solid in Azalea, but I don't know if I love the blue. Razor's Edge red, though.
I do love Razor's Edge.
Yeah, I'm going to put that right there. Another back heel kick, yellow. Ooh. Blue Infecting Shot. Now, as much as I like this in Constructed, not necessarily worth. I mean, it's totally fine in Limited, but I think maybe not. That
the
early.
Razor's Edge is pretty good. Or Blue, Come to Fight.
Blue Plunge, whatever. Ooh, I mean, this card's Amplifying Arrow is certainly been talked about quite a bit lately.
Yeah. I probably take that just because it's a majestic.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of upside to it. But then you really have to focus on getting your pumps.
Yeah, you gotta focus on it.
Yeah, you like that. Okay, I,
I wasn't gonna let that by.
I live by the Delaware River again. It's just slipping out of me. Spinning wheel king. Bonds of Ancestry. That is something that I would consider at red. Toxic Tips, certainly, totally fine. But yeah,
I'm taking the arrow. I'm taking the arrow just because I'm a greedy man.
That's fine. I think the arrow is a totally fine pick there. But hey, it is what it is. I don't know. Are we gonna? How many? Here's a question: Amplifying arrow on coverage this weekend. Not that we're gonna be really watching coverage, but for those who are, there's plenty of buds out there who'll be watching coverage. Will we see someone combo off with this card? Because there's lots of talk about that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like here's my brain goes about these combos right before the Pro Tour, right? People are like, oh yeah, I got this sick deck for the Pro Tour. Just like, oh yeah, like Tarek Patel. I'm like, I'm gonna be on chain. I'm gonna be on this hero right before, and then switches to Starvo right at the day of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like some people are trying to flip it. They're trying to freak people out. Like what's the one thing that people like are really afraid of that aren't prepared for, and then make them prepare, and then you change.
For sure.
Like a little sneak attack.
That's a card in Outsiders too. Sneak attack. Oh, I forgot. 7. We have one more thing to open. The special thing.
Oh yeah. What is it?
So this is really special. So I have a wiffle ball.
No way.
With a it's been approved by Pete Rose of the Cincinnati Reds. Now, listen, I'm in the camp that Pete Rose should be allowed in the Hall of Fame. All right. This is softball size regulation, which we care about regulation here. So just want to take a look at this. For those of you who don't know, wiffle balls it's a version of playing baseball, but something that you can you can just I'm just doing this because I knew it'd send Gary a bit, but it is pretty cool. Like, this is like really old.
Honestly, pack fresh. Why isn't you opened it? You didn't send it to Beckett?
No. Actually, I was gonna send it to what's his face, the New Zealand guy. I was gonna send it to him.
Oh, Matt Rogers.
Matt Rogers is like, hey, actually, I should bring it this weekend.
Oh, get him to sign it.
Sign.
Wait, are you gonna be anywhere near where Pete Rose will be?
Pete Rose?
Yeah.
I don't know where he is anymore. Not like I ever knew. I don't know why I said anymore. Let me just look up where Pete Rose is at these days. But
I mean, he's just trying to get back in the Hall of Fame, right?
Here,
that's like his whole campaign.
Oh no! This is why do I expect that this me typing into Google Pete Rose location would work? They're not going to show me where the guy lives, but yeah. So just wanted to.
Oh my god!
Crack that.
The wiffle ball.
Yeah.
You hit me with a wiffle ball? Come on.
Wiffle ball. It's
a little curveball.
It is what it is. So anyway, sorry, folks. Man.
No, it's all good.
Sorry. So let's talk about the Pro Tour. What decks do you expect to see? Because we just talked about Amplifying Arrow quick. But Capolo reported to the FBI. Listen, the FBI doesn't even like Pete Rose. And for those of you who don't know, Pete Rose was a great baseball player from like the 70s and 80s. And he is maybe even earlier than that, but he became a coach. And when he was coaching, he was gambling on the games that he was coaching. Now
he could be gambling like horses or whatever, but he's in charge of one of the teams.
Yeah. So it was like not a good look, but like he was doing it when he was coaching. If he was doing it big time when he was playing, I think it would be a bigger deal. And he might have been doing it when he was playing. Who knows? But I'm in the camp that, like, he was a great player. He should be in the Hall of Fame. But, that's for a different podcast.
Don't get me started on the Pinkertons.
Oh, definitely get Pinkerton scared on. Oh, man. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, the decks at Pro Tour. So, yeah, I will call this Viserai's worst meta ever, maybe?
What?
Like, this is probably his worst meta.
Who? Viserai.
Yeah. Think about who's gonna do well. We got Ice Lexi. Some no fuse Lexi who's just gonna knock you out of the park, take all the cards out of your hand, make it so you can't block. Horrible, horrifying for Viserai. So I expect to see it, and I expect to lose to it in the calling. Oldhim. Who's gonna give up on Oldhim? Nobody. Oh, maybe Dagon. Maybe Dagon will go over to Katsu. But Oldham's still really good. Just won, what is it, the Battle Hardened Charlotte?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Oldhim.
I think so, yeah.
Worst. Horrible matchup for Viserai. Horrible.
Mm-hmm.
We got Azalea. Azalea's horrible for Viserai too.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, Retinal Ledger?
Oh yeah. That was the one action return?
Yeah. Oh, I can't even play Storm and Gloomveil into anything.
That's brutal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be rough. But you know what? We're gonna have a good time. I expect to see those three decks. I think Dromai is gonna do really well. Also, Dromai's pretty good for Viserai. Yeah. Well, all of Viz is bad in this meta because if you play the Looming Doom, you lose to a lot of decks like Dromai, and if you play the aggro deck, you lose to everybody else. Mm-hmm. So it's basically like two half dozens and nothing in the other.
Yeah. What if they unban Skeletor?
I mean, I think it's time. So remember, it's not banned. It's suspended.
I would not be surprised if May 5th we'll get Cinco de Mayo.
I'll party so hard. I'll be in New York. I'm party so hard.
Everybody knows go to New York on Cinco de Mayo. It's huge.
Mm-hmm. I'm going for a French concert actually. So it's a little bit like,
what's Cinco de Mayo in French?
Cinq de Mai.
How about that?
Cinq du Mai.
My dad's in France right now. This has nothing to do with anything.
What's he doing over there?
I think he's just chilling. I don't know.
Hanging out before the Olympics. The Olympics are going to be wild next year.
They have the Summer Olympics?
In Paris, yep.
Wow. This has nothing to do with flesh and blood, but let's rope it back in. Yeah, so yeah, Viserai is probably in a bad spot, which, I'm going to not complain about, to be honest.
That's fine. Yeah. How about you? What are your top three?
Gosh, Oldham's still a force to be reckoned with, and to be honest, I won't be upset if Oldham wins, gets him closer to LL. Right, just Icelander, Oldham just LL'd and Blitz. That's great news.
Oh my god, you have no idea how happy I'm about that.
Yeah,
because it means that people will realize there's heroes banned.
Mm-hmm.
People were like, "Oh, why don't you just play Viserai?" And I've said this before on the show. I've said this before many times on the show. I say, "Well, I can't play Viserai because he's banned in Living Legend," and they're like, "Oh yeah, I forgot." It's the same conversation every time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I flip over the chain, and then I'm carrying a Viserai body pillow, and they're like, "Oh, why don't you play Viserai?"
Anyway, Blitz is, I mean, we still have to deal with Oldham and Icelander Blitz this weekend, but next weekend they're gone. Azalea, I don't think is actually going to really have that big of a, it will have a big showing, but I don't think it is going to win.
There's Burke.
Burke. Listen, we know you want OTK.
I think he has that saved on like a Word document somewhere, because I think every time we bring it up, he's just like control paste.
Control paste, yeah. Yeah, Lexi seems to be the deck, right? In the Buds Discord earlier, Pat Shaw posted a
So
picture
funny.
of Lexi, and you nailed it on the head there, Gary. You were like, someone's in too many pro player group chats, and but that's probably the truth. And they're all like, this deck is gas, and it is. It's been close to gas for some time.
It's been like ethanol for like so long, but now it's pure diesel.
Pure diesel. Like just like Sir Vincent Diesel is going to be possibly a force to be reckoned with. So I see Lexi, I see Oldham. I don't see, it's like funny, like the tournament, the Realm Invitational in Pittsburgh where Kano won was so unfortunate for Kano players because people were like, oh yeah, Kano can probably do really well in this format right now in this like meta. So now people are packing the answers for Kano. So I don't think Icelander really is gonna play well. Now so a dark horse, I think. I don't know. There's part of me that's like, guys, like can't something like Briar spike this? Can't Reinar kind of come in and play like a really good mid-range game into these decks? Part of me thinks yes. I would love to see that, but I think, and then Katsu, right? I think Katsu can be a real dark horse here. After talking to Jim, who's on the podcast tomorrow, he's very confident. Now he's a specialist. He specializes in that deck, so I would hope he was confident, right? But yeah, that's where I'm at in the format. It's just like tough to say because it is wide open, which is awesome. Love that. Now, what about limited? What decks are we going to see 3-0 is the real question, right? In the drafts. So I think Assassin's the best, or usually the most open, right? Just naturally. There are some insane ninja decks.
Oh yeah.
And Ranger is fulfilling the same slot that Lexi fulfilled in Tales, where it will eventually. Well, it will eventually get to the point where, like, yeah, the other decks are going to be a little bit more focused, so that a Ranger deck will perform well. Capolo says Zuri will be the most winning. That's most likely true. I would be surprised if like we saw like a Arachne Azuri split. I kind of like Arachne better. Just like it's the go wide. It's like it goes wide and like I think really good drafters can build a great Arachne deck. But that's my take on it. What about you?
Yeah, I really think that Assassin has such an open card pool. Like what I think I really agree with Capolo on here is that Azuri feels like one of the best decks to play it in like a format like this, where like you're really testing your opponent's knowledge of what was in the pool, right? So like like obviously if you're playing against an Azuri and you see a gore belching or something, you don't take it, or like a humble, the red humble we opened earlier, you don't take it, right? And you're like, okay, well, I know these, like when I played against Riley, I had this experience where he was just like, what is everything that's possible right now? He's like listing it off, and he's like, I think we're good. You know what I mean? All these pros are going to be doing this every time an Azuri attacks for a 0-for-1 card in hand.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly think the strongest hero in this whole draft format's gonna be the clock.
Yeah, that's a great point, right? Because we're getting a lot of drafts happening at armories where there's a clock, but is there?
Yeah.
And gosh, I mean, I after reading Tarek's article today on Ranger, he seems to be kind of like keyed into what the Ranger deck should look like now. That's where Ranger gets tough. They need to look like a certain way for them to be kind of successful. So Should be interesting. I'm interested to actually see like 3-0 decks at the Pro Tour, just in general, so I could look at it. Oh, that's what these decks should look like when I'm drafting them. It's been a rough go for Tommy Fresh at the draft tables, but yeah,
Having a good time though, even if you're losing.
always.
Oh yeah,
You're not losing if you're learning, to quote Matt DeMarco, aka Flake, of the Instant Speed podcast and former
back on the mic.
And we'll be doing coverage this weekend, which is very fun. So that being said, let's talk less about decks and let's talk about people. We're gonna list our top 5s of people that we want to win or expect to win the Pro Tour. I'll start with you, Gary.
Yeah, so my list is very targeted to people I've spent time with recently. So I apologize if you're playing and you're listening and you don't make my list. I love you. But I just the stories matter to me, So the first one here, actually, Tom, this is a curveball for you. I didn't even tell you about this person, but my first one on the list here is Eli Browerman. So this guy is a new local, not a new local, last few months. He's from Oregon. He top 8'd the Calling San Jose.
Ooh.
With Lexi.
Ooh.
He is an insane Lexi player. Like, he gave me one of I played a game against him that was probably the worst. I think I attacked once in the whole game. It was horrible. But it was a great game because it was just like really awesome to see him play. And the story here is he had his PTI, couldn't play like at all, but he's just got into Temple Law. His wife is pregnant, and he's like, I have no other opportunity to use this PTI for the next year. So he's like, last minute, he cashes in the PTI, and he says, Gary, I need like 3 cards. I need like 5 cards to this deck. And so yeah, so I want Eli to do well because I love that last minute, like this is his time to shine if he doesn't do it now, and he's got the gold foil New Horizon from when he won it at the Calling, and he's got the New Horizon Judge playmat, so I'm rooting for him. But yeah, so Eli, you're my number one. You're the first one on my list. Not number one in my heart, because there's one person on this list that is always number one in my heart. And unfortunately, it's not Mo Bogsley. He's number 2 on this list. Mo Bogsley, Mo Bogsley, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're playing Kano this weekend. And I really hope Kano does well, and I hope you do well. I hope Team Ascent knocks it out of the park. I really just can't wait to see you again because you're just a goober. And yeah, I just hope you do well. My next one on my list is one that Tommy and I were talking about a bit beforehand. Local Bud Riley. So Riley is he's one of the greatest local players. Central PA, we're big part of the Buds community in Central PA, starting it up. One of the best like level-headed, like communicating players I've played against. Just a great person. He did really well. Was it Calling Indianapolis? Was it right? I forget. Cincinnati. Yeah, and it was limited focused, and he's loves limited. And so I hope to see him perform well. I don't think he went to Europe.
I don't believe so. Now, yeah, Riley is I'm totally with you. He didn't make we kind of split our list a little bit, but Riley would be awesome to see do well. He was the first person I ever met in the Flesh and Blood community that I still talk to. Right, I met him on my first event, and he's been a killer ever since.
Yeah, and yeah, so he's on my list because local. I want to see him do really well. The next on my list is shared between Tommy and I. Come on, we want to see Dagan win it. We want to see Kadachi for one. Kadachi won, who won the Dev Challenge at Worlds. Come back with the Kadachi for the win. I think he's gonna play. He's got to play Katsu, right? Because he doesn't really like Fatigue Golden. I don't know, but I'm hoping Dagan does well. And yeah, because he deserves it. Puts a lot of time into it. A lot of min max bias here. What's going on with this? They don't even sponsor the stream, and we're sponsoring them. We're calling them out. Not a sponsor, min max team.
Min max, if you're listening, and we know that you are,
you might be.
Come on and sponsor Fresh and Buds and the Budrush Bellow. Hey, listen.
Yeah. But my number one, and this is my number one for my one of my best friends in card games for almost 10 years. Not you, Tom.
Hey, listen. I'm not even in the Pro Tour. All right.
I know. Yeah. Everybody knows Rose.
Oh yeah.
I want Rose to win it all. Top 8, whatever. I was messaging her the other day, and she's like, honestly, if I don't top 8, I hope I get top 9, so that way I can ninth, so I can do the Battle Hearten on Sunday. Like that kind of
sounds right.
Rose is playing a wild list. I don't want to give too much away, but she's playing her own list. She's been doing drafts at the sheets in Central PA, just like getting the reps in, like honestly grinding like nobody I've ever met. The way she calculates turns is just like she won the Battle Hardened Philly on Dash. Like she doesn't play many events.
She's a killer,
but she's absolutely ruthless. Like honestly, if I see her name on Gem across from me, I'm gonna lose. Like there's no gap. You cannot have a gap against her.
Absolutely.
And so yeah, that's my 5. Very biased, I know, but and then there's many names who missed the list. But yeah, those are my 5. What about you, Tommy?
Well, before I get into my list, I do want to say something about Sheets. For those who don't know, Sheets is a gas station convenience store, a little bit elevated. You can order all kinds of foods and stuff like that.
Beer too?
Yeah, you can get beer in Pennsylvania. Yep. So just so I just wanted to say, because I was at a hotel right near Sheets for a couple days this week, and I got breakfast there both mornings. I just want to say, every time I get Sheets, I just wish it was a Wawa, and
especially for breakfast.
Yeah, I mean, and they're so inconsistent. I had the same thing both days. First day was really good. It's like, I'll get it again. Not good the second day.
But see, they rely on their Z's too much. They're not thinking about the food
and the SCHs and stuff like that. Hey, listen. But that's it's neither here nor there. All right, my top 5 players right here. Number 5, as you said before, Dagan White. Dagan White, a great bud. For someone who only has one brain cell is awesome. And, honestly, he's gotten really close to a lot of things and like has a lot of great starts. And, like any tournament can go, has kind of had some, he's done really well. He's just not getting to the top, right? So I think he's due. I don't know if it'll be this weekend, but he's going to get there eventually. He works very hard and certainly a smart guy. So definitely pulling for Dagan. But number 4 is one of the co-hosts of the Manor podcast. Now, you might be thinking, oh, of course, Michael Hamilton. No. I'm pulling for Roger. I don't even know if he's playing in the goddamn thing, but
let me see Roger Rabbit win it all.
I want to see the Bodie buddy. You know what I'm saying? Roger Bodie, buddy. Crushing it. It'd be nice because humble Michael Hamilton a bit, right? All of a sudden Roger comes out of the woods. Now we love Michael. He's such a sweetheart, and Roger's amazing too. So I want to see Roger kind of come out there and say, hey, I can play too, and I know he can. He's a great player. What he top 8 the Charlotte Battle Harden, right? At Nats. Yeah. It was either that or the calling.
And then that way Roger can say, on this podcast we have a world championship winner and we have a Pro Tour winner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Michael Hamilton has won the Pro Tour. Now, there's only been 3. Number 3 is a local bud. One of 2 local buds. And it's not a name that people don't know, right? Dan Rakowski, who has just like Dagan gotten very close and has not closed the deal yet. He certainly has the ability now. You know, uh, it's I don't know what Dan's on, but it is going to be interesting because he really enjoyed Fi, right? He really loved playing that deck, and obviously we all know since the bans that Fi is not really where it was, so he can't be bringing Fi. So I'm interested to see what he plays, but I would love to see him actually get the gold. Number 2, Isaac Jessen of the Attack Action Podcast, been a great bud for a long time. Just a solid dude. Both him and Taylor, love those guys. Would love to see Isaac. You know, kind of. He's coming out. This is the first pro tour he's playing in. He top 8'd the first nationals with Lexi. Before it was cool, right?
Well, it might have been cool, might have been ice. I don't remember what was good back then.
Well, that was the Briar meta. And
ice.
yeah, it was Ice Lexi. So and this it got, you know, pretty unlucky, whiffed on a 3 of a kind, and you know, that's the end of that. But would love to see Isaac. I'm just happy to see Isaac in person, to be honest, and would be super stoked if Isaac came, the Prince of Precision, and kind of won. So I have to imagine he's knocking an arrow in some kind of bow. I do not know which one though. And finally, number 1 is Jim Konzolka, who, as I said at the top of the show, is on the show tomorrow. Fresh and Buds, just a great guy, great Katsu player. He's playing Katsu. He didn't give away too much spice, but I know, you know, the one card I can give away is that he's playing is Ornate Tessin. So he's loved that card for a long time, and he's happy to play it. And, you know, he told me Oldham's a auto win. So that's all I need to hear. Right? So
yeah. You can only block so many ones, you know?
Exactly. So it should be very cool to see what happens there. And yeah, I mean, they're all great people, and there's tons of people that we could mention. You know, there's only so many spots, and I know Capolo mentioned Mara in certainly a honorable mention, as well as a ton of other people. So
yeah, pretty
stoked to see who performs, and it would be cool to see like a bunch of new names in the top 8 too. So should be fun. Really? Now we're gonna just look at a deck real quick. You know, we always like to look at a deck, and it is Greg's deck. And it is Roadhog. Roadhog gets wet. So
someone didn't read the name of the deck before the
show. So we got a Riptide deck here. Now, I'd love to see this card, Gary. Arcanine Skullcap. But he is on the Death Dealer, right? Very cool. I've actually seen a really cool Death Dealer version of this deck, and this one kind of looks to be similar. Love Hornet Sting in this deck. I think it's just kind of is on brand, on theme with Riptide. Quiver, great.
Is that how he's getting wet? The abyssal depths.
Yeah, I have to imagine that's mostly it, right? Or maybe he's just lurking in the deep.
Yeah.
But we'll see if there's anything that's gonna make him wet. Trench, love Trench. I played a deck. I was testing a Riptide deck with Final Spring Tunic, and I was like, I wish this was Trench. And I know that seems crazy, but at least in versions with arrows, I think that Trench is just what you want to be. If you're playing arrows and traps, I think Trench is awesome. Bolt and Shot, love to see that. So that means we're going to see some pumps, obviously.
Lace.
Yeah. You know what's kind of interesting? Does that art look like they're wearing the trench?
So I when I saw this art like more recently, I was like, that dude's wearing like a cowboy hat.
Oh yeah, he's definitely wearing a cowboy hat.
And I didn't know that. I didn't notice that before. But it doesn't. I don't know. It kind of looks like a curious or whatever they're called. I don't know.
Yeah.
Whatever the It doesn't I don't necessarily think it's trench because it's got some like armor sleeves
Mm-hmm.
almost.
Man,
It
this
looks more
character would
like
be awesome.
yeah. Oh my gosh! Imagine just wearing that hat.
Yeah,
Like not even in the game, just that hat in real life.
I know. Some showing up to the to Baltimore with Death Touch, great.
Yeah.
Drill Shot.
Oh, so good. Drill shot's so good.
Shout out to Drill, the Twitter account.
Yeah.
Um,
Shout out to Wint.
wait, Endless Arrow, sure, great card. You kind of need like Endless Arrow is just like this kind of like necessary evil. It just
Mhm.
doesn't do a lot throughout the game, especially in Riptide, right? Because like you're making a lot of ponders and stuff like that, but it's still pretty important towards the end game, I think. Enlightened Strike, you
Oh,
know,
so good.
all star in this deck. Falcon
Yeah.
Wing,
I love that card so
card's
much too.
awesome.
Yeah, 0 for 4. Go again?
Shout
Well,
out to
0 for 3, but
Drill. Greg's in the chat. What's up, Greg? We got Lace of Blood Rot and Inertia
got 2 shoelaces here.
for lacing,
Shoeing them in.
shooting him in, and Merkmeyer Grapnel. 0 for 4. They could be 0 for 5 is excellent, though.
Yeah.
Though you can't
Save.
put aim
Well,
counters
maybe in the
this deck.
sideboard?
Maybe in the sideboard. No aim counters, but still 0 for 4. Certainly good.
Yeah.
Nimblism. This is what you want to do in this deck. You play
Yeah.
Nimblism, Lace, Premeditate. We got Promise of
Amplifier.
Plenty.
Oh. Okay.
Okay, Okur.
Okay. With the nimble. Hit him with the 0 for 6.
0 for 6, right? And then they're like, do I block? And then you could, because it has go again. You play from Arsenal. They decide, all right, I'll let it hit, and then you flip a Merkmeyer Grapnel, Virulent Touch, hell, a Scar for a Scar, Ravenous Rabble, anything, a 0 for something, Falcon Wing. I don't know, there's obviously a lot of options here, but like, you can really extend your turn.
Hey Greg, while you're in the chat, why is Riptide wet?
Yeah, why is Roadhog getting wet?
Yeah, that will let that sit. We wanna be able to figure that out.
The one will marinate.
Yeah. Make sure you send that in the chat. We're curious.
Yeah, we're curious over here. Ravenous Rabble. So, like, certainly a red line deck. There's a lot of reds, a few yellows here. Scar for a Scar. Why? I'm interested. Why not 3 Scar for a Scar?
Good players play 2.
Okay. Well, actually, you're pretty aggressive, so I can understand. Searing Shot, classic. Why is this guy so excited? Like, I don't know.
Whoa!
What's going on here? Like, all right, we get it. We get it, dude. You got.
Whoa!
You lit your arrow on fire. Whatever. Sick'em Shot. Oh, I forgot that was go again. Damn, look at what's going on with their eyes. This is the first time I'm looking at a lot of this art like up close. Virulent Touch.
What's going on with Posty's eyes?
Posty, yeah. Well, he's not going to have many left. Codex of Frailty. This card's good or something. And then Pitfall Trap, 1 yellow. That makes sense there, Greg. And what else did he say? Sorry, OBS in the way.
It's an Overwatch reference. I get the Roadhog.
Oh, Plague Hive.
I guess, yeah, that's a good card. You should get one.
Yeah, that's great. So what? The main deck's 54. So let's look at the sideboard. We got more traps, right?
Down and dirty.
So that's actually kind of cool. I always like this, right? So your traps and your down and dirty are your matchup things, right? This is pretty much your meat and potatoes of the deck, and then you're like, okay, what am I playing against? Does it care about go again? Does it care about pumping their stuff? Does it care about reactions? Although the reaction ones are usually the least useful. Spike Pit Trap's just good enough. Got Pitfall Trap, the other two. I like Rock Slide Trap as well. And then Frailty and Inertia are certainly good. Down and Dirty is a card that people are given a little bit more respect, I've seen. And then we got Bullseye Bracer in the sideboard as well. Um,
I feel like the Down and Dirty is a great one for this deck, just because Dromai is such a problem for this kind of. I mean, like I know you're playing a lot of go again, so you can hit the dragons in this style, but not I'm not seeing poppers.
yeah, it's just Down and Dirty and Death Touch, right?
Yeah, so like 5 poppers. It's about a little less than I play in Viserai. So yeah, it's you see him when you need them, and then but this one you can tuck, right? You can tuck it, and then you can throw it in the trench if you don't use it.
Yeah, you could tuck it on their turn too with the trap, so which is
Mhm.
kind of cool. Um, yeah, there's no hiding the fact that I think both of us really love Riptide
Yeah,
here on the show, but
deck has
looks
good bones. It's got good
good
bones.
bones. It's
you
got
know?
good bones, but hey, listen, pretty awesome deck there, Greg. Thank you for submitting it. And yeah, I mean, I think it's been a good show, Gary.
Yeah, man.
What's your meal of the week before we say
Yes.
goodbye?
Yeah. So my meal of the week. I went to a new place that I hadn't been before in Chinatown called Hosai Gai. It's
Mm-hmm.
a restaurant. Actually, a bud that was in town for Magic Fest. That was hanging out with drunks, who was from Philadelphia. Very confusing line of connection, but drunks knew a guy from a Discord server who wasn't me from Philadelphia, and he was there and recommended this restaurant. But we didn't go there because we went to Bonchon instead because it was going to be faster. Anyway, we went there. Long story short, I think the connection is so interesting. We went to this restaurant. It's just this. It's like a traditional, like sit down, like Chinese restaurant. They've got like 4 or 5 pages in their menu. All of the headers have this bright red drop shadow. When you sit down and you see the menu hasn't having drop shadow, it's a great spot.
Oh yeah.
They had like a dinner special, but they also had drinks. And so I got a Mai Tai, and let me just tell you, the food so good. We got crab rangoons, not like what you'd expect crab rangoons. So good, like not like like when you're thinking crab, you're thinking crab rangoons, the crab, real crab. But
Yeah, I get it.
you get it. But let's just say that the guy who made our drinks was not a bartender, so he was not measuring.
Very nice.
And it was a great time. I really want to shout out Hosai Guy. I'm definitely gonna go back. Great food. Like the Mai Tai was like $8 or whatever. It was like a big tall glass, and it was way over poured. It was awesome. So, but yeah, how about you?
Well, I do want to say I had Bonchon today for lunch.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, just to make you a little jealous there,
Oh man, is that your meal?
No, it's not.
Oh,
It was good though. But it was kind of like in my car, like.
Oh yeah.
So my meal of the week, uh, is actually, it was actually at my place of employment. On Sunday, I went there, had a beer, and we had a new pulled pork torta on the menu, and it was out of control good. It was like so good. And the cool thing is, so I work at a brewery, and they have a snack bar, but they serve like real food. And one of the cool things was during the actual annual meeting, we went to stations. We group, got split up into groups, and you went to a station. They told you what they do at that station, like in terms of the department and the company. And one of them was the kitchen, and they didn't really have much for us. They were like, "Oh, what's your favorite thing on the menu?" And then they kind of passed around a thing like a clipboard where you can kind of say what you want them to bring back from previous things. And one thing they used to do, which they stopped doing, was they had like a rotational. They always have a rotational menu, right, based on the season, because kind of farm to table. But they used to have a rotational poutine, kind of like something like that, right? Fries, like a large plate fries that you can split with people. They had different things on top, right? Like one time it was like Korean beef with like kimchi and like all this stuff, and then one time it's like chili cheese and stuff like that, and then obviously the classic poutine. So I put that, and it looked like everybody was putting that. Everybody misses it, so hopefully they bring it back. But the pulled pork torta, excelente.
Pulled pork torta and a dream of poutine.
Yep, I love poutine. Putin. I don't love Putin. He's a jerk.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's gonna do it for the show. I hope everybody has a great night. And if you're going to Baltimore, enjoy it. If you're gonna watch Baltimore, enjoy it. They got a great coverage team. Most of them, mainly just Flake. No, we love some of the others. But Flake is the best. But everybody, please be good to each other and have a good week. Hello.
Hello.